I have decided that I need to go into town to get some gas for the generator because I'm going to be here a few more nights, only a few more nights. And it's so cold at night that I have to run the heater more regularly. And I just am not getting enough sun. You can see there's a little bit of sun on the trailer, but that's about it. And I'll get that for a few hours out of the day. It's not enough to keep the heater running. So I'm out of gas in the spare tank that I keep in the truck. So I've got to detach and head into town to get gas. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Town's like, it's like 20, 30 miles from here. So that's why it's sort of a pain in the butt, because I got to detach and then head into town. But it's a nice little excursion for me and the dog. That's the only thing I need in town too, is just gas. You want to go with me into town, Echo? It's lunchtime. Dodger's still working on his breakfast. He hasn't been as into his food lately, so I've been adding stuff to it. I'll add mayonnaise to it in the morning. I'll add yogurt this morning, a little bit of tortilla chips that I had left over, any crumbs that I have from cooking eggs and stuff like that, I'll put in here. And he will eat it eventually, but he's just a lot slower at it. He's not as excited, and he's getting skinny. So I'm really trying to fatten him up. It's not going great. Maybe I just need to spoil him more and give him more treats. But he's doing really good. Like, he still gets around pretty good. And he's happy, and that makes me comfortable. So what did I do? Well, I detached the truck. So I know it's not that big of a deal, but I was planning to stay here completely detached, completely attached the whole time to the trailer. But since I need gas for the generator, I also pulled the propane tanks out because I have enough propane probably to get me another week or so, even using the heater, at least a week probably. Because I'm only using it for a few hours in the morning and a few hours at night before bed. And then at bedtime, I leave the heater off in there. It gets cold, but I got the dogs and we cuddle up and we're fine in bed. What I need to do is, since I got the bike out, there's no battery. The battery's in the trailer. But they sent me this bike, and I've really been digging this bike. I know you guys have seen it a lot. But I got this cover for it finally. Oh, their logo's not even on it because the battery's off. I took the battery off to charge it up inside. That's where their logo is. Oh, I think they got a logo here in the front. It's only fair that I mention these guys because they did send me this bike free, and I'm not kidding. I really am loving it. I have had one issue, which I think I'm going to have to email them about the bike. So when I do the review, I'll reveal all that information about the bike. But this bike, every bike's going to have something, something go with it. Some issue or something, some tweak or whatever. I love this bike. I freaking love this bike. It's so nice. So I got this cover for the bike, and we've had a lot of rain here. It's super cold at night. In fact, it got down to freezing a couple nights. And the bike seems to be doing just fine under this cover. It's just a $15 cover that I got on Amazon. And I'm gonna need this for things like wind, dust, sun, constant sun, and then of course, rain and snow and stuff like that. Because this bike is gonna live outside of my trailer when I'm in a campsite for the most part. So it's gonna be exposed to all the elements. I mean, this bike is getting put through a real off-road lifestyle test. I decided I would take the propane tanks into town. There might be a place in town that has a good price on propane. So I can fill up. Oh, this light got turned on. So I can fill up propane, and then I'll be all set for the road when I finally take off in a couple days. Heading south, I'm gonna be in Oregon, and I think I'm gonna go through Nevada this year, which is a little different than usual. So just to keep things secure, what I do is I lock the hitch with a padlock, and then I'll always have the generator locked up with this cable and this kryptonite lock. And I just wrap the cable through the handle here. I mean, people could get through this or whatever, but really nobody comes on this road, it's not gonna happen. I could leave this stuff out for weeks and nobody would touch it. But it's just good practice for me to lock stuff up because I'm in different areas, places that I'm not familiar with, you know, fairly often. So I run the cable through the bike tire back here, and then I'm like, oh, where am I gonna attach this to the trailer? And let me show you what I'm gonna do. Dodger's not the biggest fan of going for a ride in the truck anymore. He used to love it, and you know, he does his thing in there, he's fine, but it's not his favorite thing. Echo's, of course, he's already loaded up in there. Echo's ready to go. So to lock this up to the trailer, I'm just gonna stick this kryptonite lock around the post, and that'll be secure like that. That way I got everything locked up, the trailer, the generator, and the bike, and I can leave that stuff outside so it's not, you know, kind of like in my way. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about, you know, putting it back into the truck, that kind of thing. And so now we're good to go into town. It does feel good to be back in the truck after almost 2 weeks in the trailer. You know, we've been stationary. I haven't been in the truck at all. It's nice just to know that I got a good truck that can get me out of the woods if I need to. And today I need to, because we're just not getting a lot of sun. You can see it's really sunny right now, but the trees and the sun is so low in the sky that it really doesn't hit the trailer in the right way. So I'm grateful that I have an alternative source of power, which is the generator. I just need gas. So I've used 5 gallons of gas, maybe 6, because sometimes I'll have a full gallon in the generator and 5 gallons in the auxiliary tank. I don't really keep a ton of track of, you know, how much fuel I'm carrying, but I always know, like, I have at least 5 gallons. So I went through 5 or 6 gallons. You can see how Dodger, he likes to stand, but when it's a bumpy road like this and we're going downhill, I mean, he can barely keep himself up. I need to put something down in the well here so he doesn't fall, because I have to keep holding him. Dodger, eventually, like, he will sit down and lay down, especially if we get on the freeway. So one thing I wanted to point out is when I'm going downhill like this, you know, and I don't have the trailer right now, it's just the truck. But when you're going downhill, you know, you don't want to be riding the brake, especially if you are towing the trailer, because it's a lot of weight behind you. So we put the rig in first or second gear, depending. Like right now I got it in first gear. And so that'll make you go a lot slower, because the engine, I think they call it like engine braking. So being in first gear going downhill, you just go slower. If I had it in drive or even second gear, you know, we'd be going down too fast and I'd have to ride the brake. And like I'm saying, if you have a lot of weight, like if you're pulling a lot of weight, or you have a heavy rig, or you're just riding the brake the whole time, you're gonna burn up your brakes and you're gonna have to pull over and let them cool off. I've had that happen before. And here's a sign to the entrance to the forest, and it says no campfires, which kind of sucks because it's getting cold and I'd like to sit outside more. It's kind of funny because usually I don't have, well, there's someone camped up there too. Usually I don't have a fire in the fire pit. Like, it's pretty rare for me, but we're kind of up here in the cold weather right now, and it would be kind of nice. So we're gonna go into town, get some gas, then I'm gonna get online and look for a good price on propane. It's pretty cheap up here in the Northwest. I mean, just a few weeks ago, I got propane and it was like $2.10 a gallon. When you get down to quartzite, you're paying closer to $4. Maybe it'll be $3.80 a gallon in quartzite. Just to give you an idea, it just varies where you are. The good thing is I don't tend to use a lot of propane. To give you an idea of how much propane I use, during normal weather, where I don't need the heater, so I'm just using propane for the stove and for the fridge. The fridge in the trailer runs off of propane. That's all I'll be using propane for every day, you know, cooking, and then the fridge is constantly using a little bit of propane. It uses about 1/4 of a gallon a day of propane. If I'm running the heater, like not right now because it's not super cold, but when it gets super cold and I'm running the heater basically all day and all night, then I'll use a gallon of propane every day. Right now, since I'm running the heater partially, we're probably using close to 1/2 a gallon of propane a day. And so with 2 7-gallon tanks, on the coldest of coldest, I can go about 2 weeks on that. And so you probably already figured this out. Oh, Dodger. When I'm not using the heater, then the propane tank, one propane tank will last me almost a full month. So I can go about 2 months without having to fill up on propane. In quartzite, it does get cold, so I do use the heater there a little bit. The good thing is the generator does not come in as necessary as often, but I do use it in quartzite just because we have a lot more sun. So you get full sun. It's low in the sky because of the time of year, but it's full sun all day long from morning till sundown. There's no trees blocking the sunlight. And there's very few cloudy, overcast days. But every once in a while you'll get a string of overcast days, and then that's when you pull out the generator, even in quartzite. Good boy, Lee. Come on down. Good boy. Echo, yes. Good boy. Well, we made it back. I got gas and propane, and I also discovered a problem with the truck, which kind of sucks, but I'm pretty sure I can fix it. Let me show you what I got going on. The dogs are happy to be back at camp. That's always cool. They're super comfortable. And camp is great. I even forgot to lock the front door on the trailer, which I usually don't do, but I forgot. You can see I got some bananas. So driving into town, the truck was driving really, really good. And, I'm not really going to get into exactly like how to fix this problem with the truck necessarily, at least not in this video, but this is just to kind of give you guys an idea of the things that can happen, when you're out here in the woods and you think you got everything covered, something always happens. Something always will break or go wrong, or you need to replace something. So I did get propane, and I filled up 5 gallons of gas. One thing I realized I could have done is I could have brought the generator along, because then I could have filled it up. It's got maybe a 1/4 gallon left in there, so I could have added another 3/4 of gallons of gas. But I just neglected that. I didn't think of it. But now that we got full propane and we got 5 gallons of gas, that means I can be here for, probably another week, or a little over a week if I need to. Driving down the freeway, truck was going really, really good, and then it starts kind of stuttering. So I've had the problem before, and you know, it's not a new truck, obviously. And so I'm pretty sure it's the ignition coils. The way I was able to tell for sure that it was the ignition coils, and it doesn't really, you know, it doesn't really matter specifically what the problem is, because some of you, you know, you might understand it, you might not. But the important thing is that I use this tool. You plug this into the computer in the truck, and a lot of your cars, especially your older cars, will have a port that accepts this style. And this is called a Blue Driver. And you guys check out my link. I'll link to this product on Amazon. I recommend this product absolutely, especially if you have an older vehicle. You know, if you go to the auto parts store, they'll say, oh yeah, we'll hook up our computer and we'll read the codes. You get a check engine light. That's what this thing does. It hooks up to your phone, and I'll put some video here of me using it on my phone, and it'll show you what all those codes mean, and it'll read all kinds of different information. And so it told me that I have a misfire on the engine, and it tells me what cylinder the misfire is, so I know exactly where to focus on the engine when I get the parts in, and I can start there. So this device is freaking awesome. It's not that expensive. I think it's like 50 or 80 bucks, something like that. And since it works with your phone, it's really, really easy to use. It gives you all kinds of information. It even shows like fixes, common fixes that people reported for the same problems, the same year, and everything for your vehicle. In fact, like, I don't understand how, if you're a full-time nomad, a full-time traveler, you could get away with not being able to read the codes that your car pops up. Maybe, you know, probably on newer cars it's different, you know. All right, I'm gonna feed these guys. I just wanted to let you guys know to please check us out on Patreon. We've got a cool Patreon page for free members. You can get a free membership there, and you can also pay $5 a month, and that helps support the channel tremendously. I really appreciate all of our Patreon members. Click the link down below to check that out. I post videos there, extra videos, raw videos. What you're getting here on YouTube is like the best of the best, all edited with music and like more easy to watch. What I post on Patreon is like kind of raw stuff, and I do some live streams over there as well with me and the dogs. So check it out. Got the generator running, full of gas. You're hungry. You're hungry. You guys are pretty good in the truck. Good riding partners.